Hi everyone. Okay, today I wanted to talk about developing your clairvoyance because I know a lot of people have asked about how to develop all of your clairs, and so I'm going to make little videos on each clair so you can start developing them. But one of the things that you always want to remember on your journey to developing your clairs is that it doesn't matter how much you meditate or how much you focus on your clairs. If you don't do your healing work, your clairs will always be blocked. Like, your clairs will never be very strong because a lot of the time your trauma keeps you from being most in line, right? It's the same thing that you see with manifestations. Like, if you're not able to manifest money into your life, it's because you have trauma around money, and it's because your energy can't align with the same frequency of money. It's the same thing with your clairs because everything is energy. So for instance, with clairvoyance, like being able to see or using visuals to like tap into energy, or even to like look into the future as a seer like myself, like you have to be able to not doubt what's in front of you so you can receive the information. If I didn't heal my past with my family constantly doubting me, treating me like I was crazy, especially when I was younger, acting like I didn't exist, like people just not receiving information when I would share it with them, because they were usually threatened. I was like an oddly intelligent, like freakishly intelligent kid, and I always have been. And over time, I had to like mask that in order to stay safe. And as I got older and wanted to use my clairs, I had to begin to reveal myself, but I had to heal the parts of me that said, oh, you're crazy, oh, that's not happening, like, oh, that's not, because then none of the energy could get to me. Even though I could feel it as if like something wanted to communicate with me, I didn't know how to let it in, and I didn't know how to communicate with it. So what you always want to remember when you're developing your clairs is you have to do your healing work. Like, there is no way around it. And not only are you going to feel better when you do your healing work, your clairs are just going to massively take off, like massively. And I would see this all the time with my clients, because we would do like 6 months of just deep healing, and then all of a sudden by like month 2 they're manifesting their like dream career, their dream vacation they're like on the beach, and it's because they did these healings, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, all these things are happening, and I'm like, because you've learned to receive the energy. So with clairvoyance, like once you are in a steady flow of healing, because healing is like a lifelong journey, it's not something that you just start and then you stop all of a sudden. Like, the more you heal and take care of yourself and get to know yourself and open yourself up to the frequency of love, the more your clairvoyance takes off. And clairvoyance is really interesting because you can see things in your mind's eye, so things that are inside but look like they're projected outside. And a lot of people think that that means you see something in the 3D, and it's not like that. You see something, but it's another energy, not in your 3D but next to the 3D. And like, you will also, like, as it develops, the universe will show you things in the 3D that will trigger you to see in the future, right? So for example, I'm training for a triathlon, and this happened to me in LA too. And I don't know how long it's going to take me. I don't know what I'm going to compete in. I just do what I'm told. And I, that day, had talked to my friend, and she's like, I'm going to be on the sideline, and I'm going to be there with your coffee. And I'm like, I hope it's a cortado. and like granola bars. She's like, who knows, I might run a mile with you. She's like, but I don't like running. And she's like, but I'm gonna be there cheering you on, like, you can do this. And then I kept getting text messages from my friends that were like, I saw you're doing a triathlon, you can do this. And then I was running, and I decided to run all uphill one day for no good reason. And on the way back was was so tired. And I was in my last mile, and I turned the corner, and there's like a huge group of people. They're never on the trail like this. It was like they all got together in one spot, and I was running, and then they all just started cheering me on and yelling and like, you can do this, keep going. And then it triggered a vision, and then I could see the entire race in front of me, and then it went away. And so, like, as your clairvoyance develops, spirit will send you things also in your 3D to trigger things in a different timeline, and then it's just like popping all over the place. But what I would really do is sit down with your journal and like ask yourself, why is it that you want to develop your clairvoyance? Because there is also, which most people don't talk about, there is also a connection between being gifted clairvoyance and then trying to take clairvoyance. And a lot of people who are gifted clairvoyance are meant to use it in this lifetime. Oops. I had to pause it. Every time I'm outside, if there's a dog or dogs in general, I say this in every video, but literally they come running at me, and these two dogs were like, pew, 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 lick, lick, play, play. And they're really, really cute. And they're like, they don't listen. You must be like a dog person. I'm like, I am a doggy whisperer, animal whisperer, really. But anyways, I was saying that, you know, there's a difference between being gifted clairvoyance and being able to use it in this lifetime, and then trying to take clairvoyance. Because a lot of people want to develop the skill, but they sometimes want to do it for selfish reasons, or maybe in this lifetime they're not meant to develop it as far as they think. They're meant to enjoy the beginning gifts of clairvoyance. So it's like, that is the one thing that I think has been like glorified on social media, is that, like, you know, to become the most powerful, to become the most like clairvoyant or claircognizant. But it's like, why do you actually want to use the gifts? Like, for me, I was born with them, and then they kind of like naturally evolved, and I never asked for them. I just allowed them to come. And the more that I sat with the fact that I wanted to help heal people and teach people about how to be spiritually aligned, and like help folks reclaim their own roots spiritually, and like be able to manifest money and be the magical people that they want to be without having to, like, you know, go through traditional 9-to-5s and things like that, the more my, you know, okay, the more my gift started to evolve, and extremely quickly, because it was like the universe and the ancestors and deities that I work with, many of them, it was beneficial, like, and it was and is a part of my path to teach people how to use them. And so they were saying, like, use your gifts, we're going to expedite them, and then you're going to teach people how to help them use their gifts, but with an impact. So I would sit down and ask yourself why you're so curious about developing your gifts, right? Like, how are you connecting into them? And I, you know, would tell my clients that when you're so rooted in who you are and what you believe in, you know, you like, what is it called? I like identity transcendence. Like, nobody can take that from you. And when you're rooted and you know that you're here for a specific reason, you believe in love, you are love, you want to help humanity, and no matter what people say to you, it's not gonna change your view of yourself. It's like your gifts can just flow, like your gifts can just flow in, because like people can't touch it energetically, and you create this like unseen protection around you. But after, you know, like you've done your journaling about why you want to, I would set an intention of like what you want the experience to be like. Like, do you want to see the truth about everything, right? Because as someone like myself who is a seer and all of my clairs are developed, I specifically asked to see all of the truth. So it doesn't matter if it's an ugly truth or a rough truth or like a really good truth. I wanted to see everything. And, you know, that was why I created that specific light worker roll-on that had a very specific affirmation when I was unlocking even my own gifts, because I said, speak to me your truth, which meant the energies around me, and I would be prepared for that. So it's like you have to set an intention of what you want to receive, because if you just say like, I want to develop my clairs, I want to be clairvoyant, it's like, sure, like you know, like spirit's gonna send you a little something here or there. But if you set an intention of like, again, being intentional, I want to see the truths revealed to me, all of the truth. You're gonna get all the truth, whether you like it or not, because now they know what to send you and you're open to it. And then just being sure to meditate every single day. Like, people think that clairs just come, which like for some of us, yeah, our clairs were way developed when we got here, but it's like people think that everybody's like that. Not everybody's like that, because not everybody has the same path. And maintaining it means that you need to be meditating. I meditate probably like 3 or 4 times a day, and first thing in the morning it's about like, I don't know, an hour and a half, just like being in the dark, meditating, doing my affirmations, expressing gratitude. I do a lot of candle work because that is what my deities prefer. And that is another thing too, like as your gifts expand, you know, your clairvoyance is going to change based on deities that you work with, because they have different energy, if that is your path, of course. Like, not everybody's meant to work with deities or have a house per se, like in hoodoo, and they will send you different visions in their own way, or you'll just see their energy very different than like a spirit. Like for instance, when I was trying to figure out which deity it was, and the deity wasn't presenting itself, but their tiger was, and it was Durga. And I was like, this feels like a really fast animal, but I can't quite see it, but I can like see the energy in my mind's eye. So make sure you are meditating so you can start to merge your energy with energy around you, because that's the only thing that's different when it comes to like different realms and different frequencies. Like, it's all energy, it's just on different levels. So if you can meditate and get your energy to a frequency or a level that's so high, you can reach these other deities, you can reach these other visions, you can reach their means of communicating, which is different than our means of communicating, because it's on a different it's on a different frequency. It's literally like in video games, how you like level up and then now all of a sudden you can do this skill. It's the same thing. Meditating elevates your energy and allows it to vibrate, aka move at a certain rate, so that you can shake off low frequencies and keep like floating up to the higher ones. I'm like trying to keep it as simple as possible. And deities are on an extremely high frequency, and they all have their own channels. But I'll get into that another day because I feel like I'm getting off topic. But meditating, you have to meditate. And as you meditate, like specifically for clairvoyance, allow energy to present itself to you through visuals with your eyes closed, but don't try and force it. Just like allow whatever wants to be shown to be shown. And maybe some days you see nothing, and maybe some days you see a lot of things. There was one day I knew my gifts were shifting fast. I was meditating and I was just a dot. I was like a tiny golden dot in the middle of the universe. And I was like, well, that's new. And you just start expanding your way of meditating, right? And then energies start to communicate to you, and then your visions get stronger in your meditative world, in your visualizations that'll help you on the path that you're on right now. But you have to start somewhere. So again, like setting your intention, making sure you're healing and meditating as much as you can. Morning is going to be the most important because that is when your energy is open the most. That is when you are like best at receiving. Specifically between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Those are very auspicious times. I wake up around 4:30 and just like dig in. And if sometimes I wake up and I'm tired and I can't get into meditation, I literally just pop my earbuds on, put on a certain number of frequency that I feel like aligns with me in that moment, and then I lay back down, so then at least I can be in this weird meditative state to still be able to let that energy flow. So hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if it was. Again, I'm gonna make some videos on each clair so we can be really clear on how you can develop it, and just know that it gets really fun. Like if you are someone who has been gifted the path of developing your clairs, which if you're watching this video you have been, it's a really fucking fun, like it's the most fun I think I've ever seen. And being able to help people with it, like sitting in front of people and just using all of my clairs simultaneously like a bowl of spaghetti, like just whirling around and knowing things and seeing things and helping them. And like, you know, we're like, why were you at this store last Friday? Like you picked something up, why haven't you used it? And they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, because I could see it. You know, it's like it becomes just like so much fun. And even for your own manifestations, it's like, wow, like that's my future. That's fucking dope. You know, where you can give people relief of like, you're gonna be just fine. You just have to take care of yourself and keep going and like take one little step every single day to get there. It becomes like, I don't know, the best thing in the whole world, because you're already at a frequency that's high with love or aligned with love. And then you get to share that pure energy with someone else because you have the gift of seeing, you have the gift of knowing, you have the gift of sensing and feeling. And then you can exchange something else with them. Like it's like such a cool energy flow. But yeah, I'm gonna keep sharing stuff. If you have questions, drop it below. Follow me on TikTok too. I post a lot of videos on there. And I'm a musician, an activist, a seer, all the things. I just reopened my doggy training for folks, so that's going to be really fun. And then I just opened another part of my business, which is going to be a wild ride I'm not sharing yet. But just be sure to take care of yourself, go slow, have fun, don't force it. They will develop with time if you allow them to. So like this video, subscribe, comment below, share it with your friends, and let me know if this was helpful. And I'll talk to you soon.